Hey scientists, welcome back to Caleb and Luke's Mega Science Show. It's me, scientist Caleb, and my brother, lab assistant Luke. Now Luke, we have something incredibly important to share with the scientists at home today. We have to share with them about the scientific method. We haven't even done that yet, and it's like one of the most important parts of science. Well, to talk about it, it is a 6-step process that you should do every time that you're doing an experiment to help you figure out what's going on. Now, today, we're going to use a special magnet to do our experiment, and we're going to use the scientific method along with the magnet. This magnet is actually very, very strong. We had to special order it in the mail. So, Luke, for a piece of science cheese, let's go over the first part of the scientific method, and that is asking a question. So, Luke, you had a question you wanted to ask. Ready? Ready? Let's go to it.
Magnets attract all metals, or just some metals?
Good job, Luke. Here's a piece of science cheese. All right, so Luke's question for me was, do magnets attract all metals, or do they just attract some metals? And I think that is an excellent question that we can try and figure out today. Okay, so we got the first step out of the way. We asked the question. Now what's step number 2? Well, step number 2 is to form a hypothesis. And a hypothesis is a really big word, but what it means is you're just going to make a prediction about what's going to happen. So it's nothing super difficult. It's just guessing what's going to happen. So like I said, we're going to be working with magnets, and Luke's question was, do magnets attract all metals or just some metals? So Luke, for another piece of science cheese, we need to hear your hypothesis. Make your guess. What's going to happen? Ready? Can you help me?
I think magnets attract all metals.
Okay. Well, here, let me get you a piece of science cheese because you did a good job. All right, so Luke, you think that magnets are going to attract all metals. Well, we're actually about to find that out right now, scientists. So get ready for our next step, step number 3. So, step number 3 is to test our hypothesis. And remember, hypothesis is a guess, not a guess. A hypothesis is a guess. And Luke guessed that magnets will attract all metals. So let's test it out. What I have here is just a box of a bunch of different metal objects that you can find at home. And guys, you can even do this at home. You don't need a super strong magnet. You can do it with any type of magnet. So let's start, Luke, with a soda can. All right. So I'm gonna hold on. Let's see if it sticks. Nope. So it didn't attract a soda can. What about a hole puncher? Do you think it will attract a hole puncher? Let's try it. It does. Look at that. Not letting go. So it attracts a hole puncher. Let's try the best piece from Monopoly, the car. All right, will it attract the car? Let's see. It does not attract the car. What about a wrench? Ready? This magnet picks up a wrench. Hello. Let's see if we can get it up. All right. Here we have 2 forks. Let's see. I picked up this fork. But it does not pick up this fork. So that must mean that both these forks are made out of 2 different metals. Luke, do you think it will pick up a padlock? Let's see. It picked up a padlock. Ugh. All right, how about some loose change? We have one of every coin that we can find. So we have a dime, a quarter, a nickel, and a penny. Let's see if it'll pick up any of them. Not the dime, not the quarter, not the nickel, and not the penny. So they go in our Nope, pile. All right, so here is a piece of metal. It's a metal ingot. Let's see. And the magnet is attracted to this. Two more things. We have an old lighter. Let's see. Picks up the lighter. Let's see if you can pull it up. Good job. You can hold that. There's nothing in it. And finally, a piece of hardware. Let's see. And it picks up the piece of hardware. All right, so if you look, Luke has one of our attracted objects. So over here we have the objects that were attracted, and over here we have the objects that weren't attracted. So, you know what? I think Lab Assistant Luke deserves another piece of science cheese. Have that lighter, please. Thank you. So let's look at them. So, all these objects are metal, but only some of them actually stuck to the magnet. Only some were attracted to the magnet. So, I guess, Luke, that your hypothesis that all metals stick to magnets is not true. So let's move on to our next step and see what that is. All right, so our next step in the scientific method is actually going to be two steps. We have to analyze our data, which we have just done with the experiment, and we have to come to a conclusion. So let's look at it. Like I said, the magnet was only attracted to certain metals, but not attracted to these ones. And the simple explanation for that is because there's iron in these metals. So any metal that has any iron in it is going to be attracted to a magnet. But, where are you going, Lab Assistant Luke? Metals that do not have iron in them, like these ones, are not attracted to metal or a magnet. So, Luke, you have been so awesome today. Let's write up our data. Let's come to a conclusion. So, I got my handy dandy notebook here, my marker. Okay, so I just came to a conclusion and I wrote down my data, and I came up with magnets only attract metals with iron in them, and I drew a little picture of a magnet attracting a piece of iron. So now we have one more step, one very important step, and that is to share our data. Share what we just found out with our experiment. And usually you would share it with the scientific community. And since I have a lab assistant right here, and you guys right at home, I'm gonna share it. Guess what? Guess what? Magnets only stick to metals that have iron in them. Isn't that pretty cool? So there you have it, guys. We did all the steps of the scientific method, which is a very, very important part of doing science. And we're gonna actually start, like I said, implementing it into our show. So, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Lab Assistant Luke, thank you for helping me out today. I got one more piece of science cheese. Have a high five? Yeah, there you go, science cheese. All right, guys, see you guys next week for some more science.